Hi everyone! Welcome to this webinar about studying computer science at TU Delft. My name is Feline and I will be your host on this session. In my daily life, I work here at TU Delft as an assistant professor and I research the application of software engineering methods to spreadsheets. During this session, we're going to talk about the Master Program of Computer Science. What is the content of this master? Which tracks are there? How is it to actually study here? This last question will be answered by two current students. Furthermore, we will talk about the way of teaching here at TU Delft, and we will also give you some details about the admission process. If you have any questions for us, please use the Twitter hashtag QuestionsEEMCS. On Facebook, you can go to tudelft.eemcs. You can see this behind me on the slides as well. But first, let's look at a short video about the Faculty of Electrical Engineering, Mathematics and Computer Science, or as we call it here, EEMCS. That video should have given you an impression of our faculty. We are contributing here to global welfare, well-being and security. And we do this by, among other things, developing sustainable products and systems and addressing the challenges of energy production, storage and distribution. The EEMCS faculty offers 5 different master programs, and one of these is the Computer Science program. Our faculty has over 1,000 master students, and of those, about 24% are international students. So if you come from abroad, you'll be in good company. So what does our master program actually look like? The Computer Science program is a 2-year full-time program. Each year is divided into 4 different quarters, and in each of the quarters you will follow courses. During the first year, and the first quarter of the second year. And the last 3 quarters of the program, you will do your master thesis, your own unique and extensive project to which you can solve an important societal problem. Your thesis hones your skills and helps you reflect on your values. Within the Computer Science program, we have 2 different tracks, namely Data Science and Technology and Software Technology. The Data Science and Technology track is about using computer science techniques. Therefore, in the common core, you will find courses where you will learn how to analyze and interact with large volume, high velocity, varying veracity data. Think of courses like artificial intelligence techniques, multimedia search and recommendation, and distributed systems. The Software Technology track, on the other hand, is about redesigning, building and maintaining complex software systems. Typical software technology courses are, for example, compiler construction, distributed algorithms, security and cryptography. So the key difference between those 2 tracks is the focus. It's either on data or on software systems. If you want a deep method for solving problems, starting either from data or from an intuition. And both of the tracks have their own strengths and weaknesses, both are fundamental, and both have numerous applications today. So you might wonder, what courses am I going to follow? Well, that is up to you. We don't have any mandatory courses. You can choose yourself from all of the courses. You even have the opportunity to do some courses at another faculty or even at another university if you want. Of course, there are some requirements when setting up your program. The most important one is that you have to do 5 courses out of a common list of 10 common courses. And which courses make up the list depends on which track you choose. So who better than a real student to tell you something about choosing courses? I have asked Ioana and Tim to join me here today. Welcome Ioana, welcome Tim. Could you please introduce yourselves? Let's start with you.
Thank you, Feli. Hi, I'm Ioana. I study computer science here at TU Delft on the software track.
Thanks. And what about you, Tim?
Hi, I'm Tim. I'm also a student here at the Delft University of Technology. Also a computer science student, of course, and I'm on the data science and technology track.
Thanks. So what about you? What courses did you select and how did you select them?
The first thing I did when I came here was to meet with one of the teachers from the software engineering research group, and he helped me choose the right courses for me. He was very, very helpful. And some of the courses I've taken so far are mining software repositories, compiler construction, and data science and programming for the 99%.
Thanks, that sounds really nice. Could you tell us a little bit about studying here? For example, what does a typical day at TU Delft look like?
Of course. To me, a typical day at the university does not really exist. You cannot really characterize it in one way. You can either spend your days studying for courses, maybe you have assignments to do, perhaps you even do some research on the side, or you need to prepare for exams. There are plenty of different activities that could make up your day, and every day is different, and I think that's really great.
Nice, that sounds really good. So, Ioana, why did you pick Delft? Why did you come here? Because you're not Dutch, right? You came here from another country.
Yes, I'm Romanian, and I chose TU Delft because 2 teachers whom I trust most at my previous university, they suggested that this would be a very good place to further develop and see and learn how research is done. And so far, they were right.
Thanks. Thanks a lot, both of you. We will now show you a short video about how a normal day of Ioana looks like at Delft University of Technology.
Hi, my name is Ioana. I'm from Romania, and I'm doing a master's in computer science here at TU Delft. And this is my day.
So now you know a bit more about our master program and you've heard about the experiences of our students. Now we're going to talk about the way of teaching at TU Delft. And for that I have invited Alexander Joseph with me here. Last year he was awarded Dutch Teacher of the Year. And he uses gamification in his teaching in order to help his students learn in the way that suits their personalities best. Alexander, could you please explain me a little bit more about that teaching methods?
Thanks, Felina, for the opportunity. Now, in my teaching, I aim to keep students engaged, entertained, but also creative and, of course, learning. And these elements are all important. You cannot learn well if any of them is lacking. And to achieve these elements, I indeed use gamification in my teaching. Now, gamification can mean many things. But here, in my approach, it means using techniques from modern games to improve your learning experience and to let you choose your own path of advancement. And depending on what you want, in my courses, you can compete with others, you can work in teams to discuss and to solve problems, you can explore beyond the state of the art, that is research, and you can achieve all the milestones set by the course. And I think it's obvious that if you are involved in all these things, you will find yourself wanting to be the best you can. And you will have, unfortunately, to choose. You can't do all. But this actually leads to engagement and to entertainment and to creativity and ultimately to good learning.
Thank you, Alexander. So as I said before, you close your master program with a thesis. And an MSc thesis at TU Delft is a spreadsheet project where you show your unique qualities. You learn how to master an important part of the technical field, and you solve that with your own knowledge, an important societal problem. For many students, the master project begins their professional life. Could you give us an example of a master project, Alexander?
I can. So think about cloud computing, which is about using computer services very efficiently. And this is already a quarter of the European and of the US industry, but is still way too complex for most. And this is why cloud computing is now accessible to all, but in fact, mostly big companies and expert IT departments use it. Now, imagine what we could achieve if really everyone could quickly go from ideas to actually running businesses. Can we enable cloud computing also for the small and medium-sized enterprises? Can we enable the factories of the digital revolution? Now, to do so, we need to explore a really large and very creative space of automated resource management and scheduling systems. Now, this sounds difficult, so indeed you will have to learn. You would first learn about managing data centers, about cloud computing, and about big data. You would then design and build and test and ultimately build a prototype resource management and scheduling system, complete with APIs and exemplary applications. Now then you will also get to present this in scientific and industry conferences, where you get to meet all the technical leaders of the community. And this is, if you want, the last hurdle before you can actually invent the new Hadoop, the new Mesos, the new Spark, and perhaps build the next big company, the next Cloudera, Hortonworks, or Databricks. And this is why I would say that in your Master of Science thesis here, you can actually build a new unicorn.
Thanks. So the variety of master projects is really big. Any student can pick their own and you can do lots of diverse things. For example, one of my students built a new way to parse formulas in Excel spreadsheets and he released that as an open source library that's now widely popular on GitHub. So you can do lots of different things. Tim, maybe you can tell the watchers a little bit about your experience.
Of course, Felina. So I just started with my master thesis, and really at the start of such a thesis, you need to think about what you really want to do. What's been done in the field you're interested in, and what has not been done, and where do you fit in? So it starts a lot with reading up, with finding the literature, but then you really start to think, what can I do? What's my addition in the field, and how can I indeed get to that next big unicorn or the next company that you can start? perhaps even a new large project on GitHub. So I think really the creative process is really a nice part of the master thesis after you've really learned a lot through your courses already.
Thanks. So last but not least, we will talk a little bit about the admission procedure here at TU Delft. And therefore I've invited Jitske van der Laan with me here of the International Office of EEMCS to talk about admission. Jitske, welcome.
Thank you, Feline. First, I'd like to tell you something about the application process. The application deadline is the 1st of April. Make sure your application is complete and on time, and so we can process it. You can find all the detailed information on how to apply and what the process is and the precise requirements on study.tudelft.nl. After the Central International Office checks your application, the Admission Committee of Computer Science will assess your application as well. They check if the knowledge you've required so far is sufficient to be able to succeed in the Computer Science Master. You will receive the admission decision from the Central International Office within 8 weeks of your application. Information on scholarships can be found on scholarships.tudelft.nl. After your admission, you will receive an invitation to Delft Tulip. On this interactive platform, you can take the next steps in your preparations for coming to TU Delft. There you will find information on how you can arrange your housing, find detailed information on visa or on insurance. Housing can be arranged through TU Delft. We try to provide everyone with suitable housing. However, due to the growing numbers of international students, we can no longer guarantee that we can provide housing for everyone. First come, first serve, basically. If you need a student visa, TU Delft will also provide this for you. After you made all the arrangements, it's time to finally come to Delft. The International Office organizes an extensive 2-week introduction program for you. Within these 2 weeks, we try to provide you with everything you need to settle into Delft and to feel at home at TU Delft. If you arrive in one of the first few days of the program, you can use the TU Delft Shuttle service, which brings you right here to our campus. Within the first week of the program, you will have an appointment for registration. At this appointment, you can arrange everything. Your registration at TU Delft, your registration at the municipality, your insurance, your residence permit, your bank account. They're all here. During the introduction program, you will work in a small group with students from all other faculties of TU Delft as well. And you can take all kinds of excursions. For instance, you can go to the Science Center or to IKEA. And there are campus and city tours. You even can follow workshops on how to fix your bike. You need one when you're here. Also, there are many social events to get to know a lot of the other students. During the first week of the program, there's a sneak preview here at the faculty of EEMCS. You will meet your fellow students that you will study with. You have a tour of the faculty and you get a feel of what it will be like where you will spend the next 2 years of your life. All in all, the introduction program is a 2-week useful and fun way to start your life here in Delft. Additional to that, the faculty of EEMCS organizes the master kickoff in the beginning of the academic year. Together with the Dutch students starting their master, you will have an in-depth introduction to your master track.
Thanks, Jitske. So, Ioana, you participated in this international welcome program as well, right?
Yes.
Can you say something about that?
I know it sounds like you have a lot to do in those weeks, but it was a lot of fun, and somehow you ended up doing everything you had to do and meeting a lot of new people, which was a lot of fun, and it was the perfect way to understand how everything goes here and just get adjusted to the new place. Yeah.
So about that adjusting, was there a big culture shock coming to the Netherlands? What would you say is the biggest difference between your country and the Netherlands?
My shock, I would say, would be the food. It's very different here. Personally, I miss the food back home, but the rest was amazing. It was a really nice experience.
Nice, thank you. I'm sorry about the food. So Tim, what do you do in your free time? Is there any free time next to studying in a master here?
Of course, Felina. So next to studying, I like to play volleyball, which is just one of the many sports you can do here at the sports center at TU Delft. In addition, you can go to a pub, you can grab something to eat in the city, even though, according to Joanna, it's not as good as the Romanian kitchen. There are still plenty of food to be had. And of course, you can go to a movie, you can hang out with friends. I think there's plenty to do here in Delft.
Nice, sounds good. So like Jitske mentioned, we offer our international students all kinds of services. Let's take a look at a short video about educational and student affairs, which are the ones responsible for those services. So we got a lot of questions during the webinar, and we've selected a few that I will answer right now. One of the questions is, what kind of industry connections does TU Delft offer? Which companies? Well, it would be too much to mention all the companies that we work with. Just a few that I know from the top of my head that I have worked with are Microsoft, Oracle, Google, so big companies. We collaborate with them lots. Maybe, Alexander, you could add a few companies that you've worked with?
Absolutely. So you started with Microsoft, Google, Oracle, definitely. We collaborate with them. IBM is in the mix, so also some of the bigger companies. In the Netherlands, there are quite interesting companies. Keep in mind that Europe is a place of small and medium enterprises, so you may not have heard about them. But we keep mentioning in this discussion the unicorns. Perhaps Europe will have soon their own unicorns. Solvinity is such a company we work with, Azavista, BitBrains, etc. We have tens of companies, I think, in this ecosystem. And let's not forget the Yes Delft.
Yeah.
So we have a very nice startup center, which is one of the largest in the world. And it hosts really nice companies. Check out Nerdalize, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you want to do your master project together with a company, we really have the connections from small and medium enterprises and startups to big multinationals to get you set at a company. So another question we got is, how long does it take to be notified of the admission decision after uploading all requirement documents? Jitske.
Thank you, Verlina. It should take up to maximum 8 weeks before you get your decision.
Okay, thank you. A question for the students. Was it easy to find a room in Delft?
So I'm actually a Dutch student and I live in a city close to Delft, so I've not actually had to go through the trouble of finding a room, but perhaps Joanna can comment on this.
I also had no trouble finding housing because the university helped a lot, and I now live with 10 other amazing students. We've become friends and it's really fun. It was perfect.
Nice. So Tim, do you already have some plans after graduation?
So I personally plan to continue with a PhD after I graduate. Haven't really looked past that, but I think I really enjoy it here and I would like to do more research and really explore my field more.
Okay, thanks. One more question we got is, could you share information regarding the lab facilities for the data science track? So the different tracks don't have different lab facilities in our university. So there are lots of spaces within our faculty building, within the library building, and within another building at campus where you can work. But there won't be spaces that are just for your master. You can just go wherever you want to work. Alex, do you want to add something?
Yeah, so thanks, Felina. I also understand this question as a question about what kind of computer science equipment infrastructure is available. And keep in mind that we have access, for instance, for the distributed systems course to the DAS, which is a multi-cluster, multi-data center system that is specifically built in the Netherlands to do computer science research. And it's basically a facility only for master students, PhD students, and other researchers to try to understand how their prototypes actually work. And if you try to figure out the size of this, it's competitive around the world. And in fact, it was instrumental in us winning the IEEE Scale Challenge. So it does scale. It's really big.
Nice. Thanks for that addition. Yes, a question for you that might be of interest to many of the viewers. Can students work next to their study?
Thank you, Feline. It depends a bit. All students can work next to their studies. European students, of course, have no limits on how many hours. Of course, you have to figure out how it fits with your studies. Your students from outside of Europe are allowed to work a maximum of 10 hours per week. With the exception of an internship or your thesis, you are allowed to do that with the company. We have forms that you can sign, and that won't be a problem.
Thank you. Another question. You already mentioned scholarships, but could you give a little bit more detail about the different options for scholarships that we have?
Unfortunately, right now, the scholarship deadlines have passed, but we have several full scholarships available with a deadline of 1st of December and several partial scholarships of 5,000 euros for which the deadline was 1st of February.
Okay, thank you. So that was all that I had of the questions, at least the ones that we can answer now. So if you submitted a question and it wasn't answered during the webinar, don't worry. We will answer all questions on Twitter and Facebook later today. If you have any other questions about studying in Delft or the details of the program, study life, whatever, please don't hesitate at all and ask us those questions on Twitter or Facebook. For further information, please check out our website www.tudelft.nl/studeren/masteropleidingen/computer science. If you didn't get that, it's also right behind me. Now we've really come to the end of the webinar. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it and you found it useful. Hope to see you here. Bye!